Fight with honor, make your rivals fear your voice. Die in battle to perpetuate your name, or run from danger just to live another day. Real heroes never fear the pain or death, getting stronger to their final breath. Welcome back to the either third or fourth part of my playthrough of Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright. I must apologize in advance. I just can't seem to find a cutting program for my videos, because I have insufficient RAM. So I will still look further into it. So everything will be pre-produced. So ignore my statement from the first part at best. It was probably the question if I should stream or just record the gameplay. It's whatever now. And also I can't wait to just play the game. I've waited years to play that, and now that I'm finally doing it, I just can't hold myself. Okay, so with that out of the way, I think we can start. Maybe just turn it a little bit quieter. Just it doesn't go any quieter. Just continue, and if we remember correctly, we're in the middle of the proceedings, in the middle of the prosecutions. After flying clear across the Atlantic, we finally found ourselves in ye old London. Nick was stuck working right up to when we left, so he's kinda tired, but I'm pumped and ready to get my sightseeing on. Even though he said he was only here for that attorney exchange thing and wouldn't have to appear in court, we still ended up in court. And Nick said I'm the one that would jinx us. Looks like we were defending a speller. Alright, I'm ready and raring to go. So, 3 lifelines. A speller to defend. The court will now reconvene. Prosecution, is your witness ready? Of course, Your Honor. Bailiff, please bring her in. Okay, it's the crew member. Witness, state your name and occupation.
My name is Olivia Al. The warm winds of the Mediterranean Sea carry the spicy scent of a seafood stew. A hot Sicilian stew that soothes the hearts of sailors braving the raging waters. Blessed be the Sicilian cuisine and il nostro mare.
Yes, Miss Al Dente is employed as a cook on the freighter when the crime happened. A cook? That's interesting attire you're wearing, Miss Al Dente. This is my work outfit. It gets very odd in the kitchen, you know. I will not even try to remake this accent. No way. It would be a pleasant change after that chocoholic guard. He got up my nose. Is he allowed to say that? Nice to see the judge is remaining impartial. Mrs. Al Dente discovered the defendant in the cargo hold when she went for supplies. She found a speller that would make her the crew member that Johnny saw fighting with a speller. Why is it scrolling so slowly? That is right, Mr. Wright. Mrs. Al Dente was the first person to discover the intruder. Then she is the victim of assault, hit with a steel pipe. How cruel. If I'd only had my precious kitchen knife with me at the time, I'd have shown her my exceptional cutting skills. Okay, maybe I'll try a little bit of the accent. Nick, look at that. She's an expert potato peeler. You'd better watch out around her. I'll keep that in mind. Witness, we will now hear your testimony. Describe to us what happened in the cargo hold. Certamente, gladly. Okay, now. Let's see. Not nervous at all. When I found the girl, I went to the cargo hold to check the supplies. It was past 10 p.m. and I found that girl hiding and clutching one of them bizarre toys. She made as if to run away, so I tried to stop her. Then she grabbed the pipe. She's short, but she fiercely swung the pipe around me. I tried to dodge, but she hit me on the head. I blacked out for a few minutes. Okay. According to the medical report, you suffered a laceration onto your head, right? Ah, that. It's covered by the chef's head, so you can't see it now. When I chop up veggies, it hurts in the rhythm of the strikes. Chop, chop, chop. That sounds most terrible, Miss Al Dente. I should have been more careful, but she looked like a little Piccola girl. Olivia's much taller than Isabella. Yeah, Isabella is about the same size as you. I may be short, but I'm well proportioned, and that's what matters. What's that supposed to mean? Your Honor, the prosecution would like to present the decisive evidence that proves the defendant's guilt. This is a photograph of the defendant's fingerprints on the steel pipe. How did she grab it? As you can see, the fingerprints are clear. They were left by the assailant. They have already been examined and found to be those of the defendant. Well, that settles it. This is undoubtedly decisive evidence. What? The fingerprints on the weapon are Isabella's? Just to put your inquisitive mind at peace, Mr. Wright, there were no other fingerprints. This photograph shall be added to the evidence. Hehe, have I not warned you, Mr. Wright? Further examination is but a waste of time. Nick, what do we do now? This evidence clearly points to Isabella. We're pleading that Isabella's not guilty, and if she's innocent then... This witness is lying. All we need to do is to expose the lie. I've got to think straight and focus on finding the truth. Oh god, that's... the defense may cross-examine the witness. Cross-examination. I went to the cargo hall to check the supplies. It was past 10 p.m. And I found that girl hiding and clutching one of the bizarre toys. She made as if to run away, so I tried to stop her. Then she grabbed the pipe. She shot, but she fiercely swung the pipe at me and tried to dodge. But she hit me on the head. I blacked out for a few minutes. I just want to look at this one. No, this one. Details. Look, if you try to hold the pipe like this, you are hitting with the short end, and you will have not as much force as just swinging the long end to her head. So it's quite doubt that she blacked out, but we'll see. Let's just... these controls are kind of wonky, so let's press a little bit. You had to check the supplies at that late hour. It must be tough being a cook. Another saying, a thirsty sailor will drink the old Mediterranean Sea. That's why I always need to make sure we're properly stocked up, sweetie. Is she making those things up? The incident occurred at 10:20 p.m. when Smiles was doing the rounds. 20 minutes fight? I see, understood. And what happened in the cargo hold? And I found that girl. 20 minutes fight seems rather long. And this bizarre toy she was holding was none other than... PC Badger, was it? The girl held it in a tight grip, like a sea aug holds a spray. Are you certain it was the defendant? It was kinda dark in that room, but I swear Neptune, it was a... The witness was engaged in a face-to-face fight with the defendant. Even if the room was poorly lit, there's no doubt she would recognize her assailant. Isabella was holding PC Badger. Did she intend to steal it? What did the witness do upon discovering the intruder? She made as if to run away, so I tried to stop her. Where's the pipe from? The defendant trying to escape? She had nowhere to run though, cause she was at the far end of the room. Yeah, I'm really good at catching chickens that try to run from the knife, so I caught her rapidamente. And when you caught her, things took a violent turn. Yeah, she was so small, you know, you wouldn't think she added in her. There was a steel pipe propped against the wall right next to her. Was it the pipe from this picture? Yeah, she picked it up and held it in both hands, and then she sharply fiercely swung the pipe at me. You're sure it was the defendant that swung the pipe at you? We know it was the defendant because her fingerprints were found on the weapon. As you can see, she held the pipe with both hands, just as the witness has stated. Isabel's fingerprint, that's some hard evidence. But then again, what is it, Nick? There's something about those fingerprints. Oh, it sounds like you're onto something, Nick. Don't get too excited, it's just a hunch. Also, she would have never reached up there. These fingerprints, they don't look quite right to me for some reason. Isabella swung this pipe while holding it in both hands? In any case, pray tell us what happened after the defendant took a swing at you. But she hit me on the head. I blacked out for a few minutes. Do you remember the moment you were hit? Sort of. It was dark, so I'm not exactly sure how it happened. See, I'm clever with my fingers, but not that good at touching steel pipes, so I got it. And you're positive there was no one else at the crime scene? Yep, the cute guard suddenly walked in sort of nonchalantly. Now that I think about it, the door suddenly opened and I turned towards it. That must be when I got hit, so it was his fault. Yeah? Oh, I'll have my revenge. They say my special spice blend is too strong for human consumption. I don't think you will ever be able to taste chocolate afterwards. Teehee. She says while smiling. Scary. Johnny said he saw the moment Olivia was hit. Yeah, and he didn't see anyone else in the room either. So when I came to the bodyguard, the guard boy had already captured the girl. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the testimony. Still. Got any ideas, Nick? This one piece of evidence has been on my mind. I saw something easy to see, but it feels out of place. I didn't notice anything. I'd better take a second look at the court record. I've got nothing concrete, just a hunch to go on. But should I present that? Oh, come on. I went to the garage. Do we just present that? Like, we know she's too small to hit her on the head with this steel pipe, especially when it's at that length. Also, swinging this steel pipe with this kind of grip is just not cutting it. But is it really enough to, like, make him change his mind, the judges? Also, do we have another kind of... With a long, blunt object. It's not long, but it's blunt. Yeah, why not? Oh, it's wrong. You're claiming that the defendant swung the pipe at you. Well, that's impossible. Why do you say that, sweetie? The defendant's fingerprints were found on the pipe, however. There is a contradiction here. Okay, got it right. A contradiction? Impossible. That is most interesting. Well, then the defense shall explain. What in the photo of the fingerprints contradicts the testimony? The position of the fingerprints. It's the position of the fingerprints, Your Honor. Oh, the position? According to the witness testimony, the defendant held the pipe like this. In order to hit the witness on the head, she raised the pipe like so. That is preciso what she did. And then she struck from above. But here's the problem. Think about the fingerprints that she would have left had she done just that. What are you getting at, Mr. Wright? Look closely at the way I'm holding the pipe. In this situation, the fingerprints would look like this. The thumb is above the other fingers. Yes, indeed, there's no doubt about it. Now take a look at the fingerprints that were actually left on the pipe. I got it! Goodness, the thumb, it's below the other fingers. What? That's right, Miss Al Dente. What was it? Had the defendant attacked you as you described, the fingerprints would have been the other way around, which means something's not right with your testimony. Aha! Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? These fingerprints were submitted as decisive evidence. How come this contradiction was not brought to light before? Ah, no! Mrs. Al Dente, what do you have to say about this? Excuse me, Miss Al Dente? Know how to bring out the full sweetness of a sweet potato? Huh? You use a pinch of salt. Interesting, right? You use salt to make something taste sweeter. I'm not following. I remember it now. It was the other way around, not as you'd expected. I'm sorry, I got a bit confused. You'd normally hold the pipe like that. But she's so small and the pipe is heavy. She held it the other way. The other way? Not like this. She held it in this way. But you testified that she fiercely swung the pipe at you. Swung. I'm telling you I got confused. Olivia's sorry, okay? How could you mistake the way she held the pipe if she was right in front of you? Oh, why don't you go fry an egg? What does it matter if she held it in one way or another? You wouldn't call a slightly salted sweet potato a salty potato because it's still a sweet potato, no matter what she add to it. The witness probably has a point, doesn't she, Mr. Wright? So the defendant attacked the witness holding the pipe backhanded. It seems a bit unnatural, but it does make sense, I suppose. Indeed it does, Your Honor. There's no problem with this evidence after all. Does the defense agree? If I agree there are no problems with this evidence, we'll be one step away from losing this case. There's gotta be a contradiction somewhere in that fishy testimony. Could Espella have hit Olivia the pipe backhanded? No. Of course not. Well, Miss Al Dente, I'm afraid that you're in a pickle now. I don't really see why. Adding a pack of lies to testimony can turn things very sour for a witness. It would seem the defense is prepared to prove its claim, that there is a contradiction in this witness testimony. Correct, Your Honor. I won't know until I try. The defense shall now present evidence to the court. The evidence contradicting the assertion that the defendant hit the witness holding the pipe back, and it is at the back of the hand. Yeah, we need to use the medical report. How, like, my thought process right now, just that you understand it, is if she really held the pipe backwards, like backhanded, whatever, how does she hit her on top of the head? I mean, she can fall down or whatever, but I think neither of them testified that, so there's actually no way to hit her on the back of the head backhanded. It would be the second time we showed a medical report, which I find kinda lame, but I think it's the only one. Mr. Dente, you previously testified that you were using that hat to cover the wound you received in the assault. It's normal for signoras to cover up things they don't want others to see. That's not at all. You also described the defendant as little, if you recall. That is to say, Miss Cantabella is at the very least shorter than you. I've grown tall and healthy thanks to the wonderful Mediterranean sunshine. Oh my god. Let me ask you then, how did a girl shorter than you holding a heavy pipe backhanded manage to land a blow to the back of your head? I'd say it's impossible. The fingerprints on the weapon show that the defendant held it backhanded. But even if she didn't, it is highly unlikely she would be able to hit Miss Aldente's head like that. And I thought the courtroom is just mumbling even though there's nobody sitting there. Order! I will have order! What is the defense getting at? Even if it was highly unlikely, it cannot be proven that it was impossible. Miss Cantabella's fingerprints were found in the pipe, Your Honor. Nothing can change the fact that it was the defendant who held the weapon. That's true. That is so. Does the defense have any comments? I can't deny that. It's clear that Isabella did hold the pipe. She held it like this, right? Why would she do that? It'd be hard to hit anyone like this. When she holds it like that, it looks as if she was trying to escape. The court recognizes the validity of the prosecution's objection. Fingerprints on the weapon prove that it was used by the defendant. The defendant's fingerprints may be on the pipe, however. That doesn't prove she hit anyone with it. Nonsense, what else would she pick up a steel pipe for? Oh, I think I've got a pretty good idea. Well then, the defense may elaborate on this idea. What I say next will turn this trial around. The defendant's fingerprints were left on the weapon when she reached for a weapon, attacked Miss Aldente, or tried to defend herself. Okay, a little bit different than I thought, but yeah. Well, naturally, she held the pipe with both hands when she stopped it from coming down on her head. She stopped it? With both hands? That's right, like this. Please take another look at this photo. These are not the fingerprints of an assailant, but rather the fingerprints of a victim who is defending herself. Which brings us to the conclusion that Miss Cantabella didn't attack the witness. Sorry. She was in fact a victim, desperately trying to defend herself. This cannot be. And if Miss Cantabella was a victim, who was the real assailant? There's only one person who could have done it. Yeah, the only other person at the crime scene was Olivia Aldente. It was you, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm bad at girly shots, I'm sorry. Order, order, order. If I cannot have order, the court will be adjourned. Be quiet, all of you. You just don't quit, do you? Why does she have an eel in her pocket? That's kinky. A lousy lawyer like you should get the job. How about I show you my knife up close? Have you lost your mind, Mr. Wright? The witness is the victim, not the assailant. There are no fingerprints other than the defendant's on a weapon. Oh god, it's getting pretty heated. Look at the witness's outfit. Gloves. She's wearing gloves. That's why she left no fingerprints. You prickly sea urchin. But you cannot be sure she was wearing gloves that night. The witnesses called this her work outfit, so she must have been wearing it when she went to check supplies. You devious lawyer, slippery as an eel. It was me because I had gloves on, as if it was the only me wearing gloves. She's the one in the courtroom wearing gloves. There was that guy, the guard, he was wearing gloves too. The guard? Oh, was it the previous witness? Oh, that's right, gloves are part of the guard's uniform by regulation. See, the guard Johnny, he was wearing gloves that night too. What do you say to that, Mr. Wright? Since we're claiming that the assailant is the person who had gloves on, that will make this guard a suspect as well. Could Johnny be the culprit? It's impossible because we have chocolate fingerprints on the torch. Johnny Smiles is not the culprit. Why not? Anyone with gloves could have done it. Didn't you just say that? No, I didn't. However, it does seem plausible that the guard could have done it. He was wearing gloves after all. I'm afraid that is impossible, and I have a proof. You do? Fascinating. Let's see this proof, if you really have it. Please enlighten us as to why Smiles cannot be the culprit. Provide the proof. There we have it, the torch. Security guard smiles, always uses it on patrols, covered in chocolate fingerprints. This will be, hopefully, the final evidence that breaks Miss Olivia. Mr. Smiles is, to put it nicely, what you may call a free spirit. There is no guarantee he would follow the rules and wear his full uniform. And this evidence proves he did not wear gloves. Wait, don't throw that filthy torch at me. Will someone please wipe the chocolate off this evidence? No, Your Honor, this chocolate is the evidence. What? Mr. Smiles was snacking on a chocolate bar during his patrol. That's why his flashlight is in this sorry state. And covered in his chocolatey fingerprints. Therefore, we know that he didn't wear gloves when patrolling that ship that night. Rule-breaking, chocolate-loving Johnny Smiles was not the culprit. What? That's ridiculous. It's too silly. Yes, Your Honor, the defense has merely pointed out a possibility. You call this witness a criminal without actual evidence against his preposterous. The prosecution's duty is to clear what doubts there may be regarding the defendant's guilt. And I have demonstrated that there is, at the very least, a possibility that the witness is not telling the truth. At the very least, Esbella Cantabella is not innocent. As corroborated by PC Badger, the toy that she attempted to steal. What was that? Did Olivia just freeze for a second? Prosecutor Flinch explained to the court about this toy, this new piece of evidence. This is the stuffed toy the defendant tried to steal that night. One of its legs would appear to be missing. The poor thing. That mishap befell PC Badger as the witness and the defendant were fighting. The captain of the freighter reported the damage after the defendant's arrest. So this is the stuffed animal Olivia snatched from Esbella. I see. The court would like to hear the witness testimony regarding this evidence. No final evidence. We have to carry on. Witness your testimony. She's just... Excuse me, witness, you have been asked to testify. I'm so very sorry. I got a little upset from all these accusations. Who wouldn't? I'm not used to this, to being called a liar. Yes, it's only natural. Don't worry about that. It's all the slimy attorney's fault. Why do I feel like an eel on a chopping board? Nice analogy. The witness will now testify. Tell us how you retrieved this toy from the defendant. Gladly. Il nostro mare. I wonder what she's saying. I don't get it. Whatever she said, I'll make sure this is the last time she says it in court. Way better run than last time. About PC Badger. I wrestled this toy bag from the thief and then gave it to the police. When I found that girl, I thought I couldn't let her get away with our precious cargo. Naturalmente, I had to get the toy back from her first. Its leg got ripped off though. But there's no way I could have attacked her with the pipe. I was holding the toy in one hand. I don't remember much about when I was it, but I got the toy back at least. I see, what a commendable attitude, going to such lengths to protect the cargo. I may not be a security guard, but I'll do what it takes for the sake of our ship. It didn't do much good in the end. This PC Badger was way too damaged to be sold. These lovely little toys are made at the workshop in London. We transport them down the river Thames, distributing them to children as we go. Didn't she call them bizarro toys earlier? And now suddenly they're cute? And what about fingerprints on this toy? None to be found? It is a soft toy after all, so no usable fingerprints were found. Well, that is unfortunate. Regardless, the court accepts it into evidence. Stolen toy added. Don't tell me it's like a drug smuggling stuff. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This is so exhausting. About PC Badger. I wrestled this toy bag from the thief and then gave it to the police. Press. When you entered the cargo hold, the speller had this stuffed animal. Naturalmente, I got her red-ended. She was trying to steal it, I'm telling you. To be honest, it does sound like she's lying. But is Isabella really a thief? We can't be sure about it, just picking something up doesn't make you a thief. Anyway, something else in the testimony is on my mind right now. Has the defense changed its mind about the innocence of its client now? Witness, continue your testimony. What did you do after coming across the defendant? When I found the girl, I thought I couldn't let her get away with our precious cargo. This precious cargo was picked up from London. Yeah, the workshop where they make them is by the River Thames. We come to pick up the cargo regularly. As it's a regular direct delivery service, we did not see the need to investigate the cargo. If we confiscated our cargo for inspection, I wouldn't be able to carry out my cooking experiments. Confiscate? What in the heck is she cooking with exactly? I think we can all see how committed Miss Al Dente is to her work. Commitment and passion are the main ingredients of every dish I cook. At least she's self-conscious, not self-conscious, but like she believes in herself. I don't know if that makes sense. Naturalmente, I had to get that toy back from her first. Its leg got ripped off though. But there's no way I could have attacked her with the pipe. I was holding the toy in one end. Oh wait, I want to press there. I had to get the toy back. The stuffed animal's leg got ripped off when you were fighting. Yeah, it came off easier than the shell of a freshly boiled lobster. Let's see, this thing does seem kind of flimsy. Stop picking on PC Battery, maybe a plushie, but that's no reason to make fun of him. It's not made very well, though. It looks like it might just come apart if you pull it a bit. I ripped it out of the girl's ends and kept it with me until the police came. But there's no way I could have attacked it with the pipe. I was holding the toy in one end. So you didn't hit the defender with this steel pipe? Aren't you forgetting who's the victim here, sweetie? I am, and I didn't strike myself with that pipe. Aren't you getting things backwards, feeling dizzy? Maybe you haven't been properly... Oh god. Maybe you haven't been eating properly. Sorry about that. It's kinda late. She's right. Someone else must have hit her. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but... I don't remember much about when I was it. But I got the toy back at least. You don't remember much about it? Yeah, and the room was dark because only the emergency light was on. But there was definitely no one else in that room, only me and that little girl. So it had to be her that hit me. She's not having second thoughts about it, that seems. So that's it, huh? Well, Nick, this one's easy, I don't know what to do. You're finally starting to act like your normal self. The jet lag must have hit you like a ton of bricks, huh? There's a clear contradiction in Olivia's testimony. It's time to present some evidence and expose her lies. What? There's evidence? What kind of evidence? I'm sorry. Just looking for the ripped off legs somewhere there. If the, oh god. That should. I wrestled this toy back from the thief and then gave it to the police. Okay, I think we can call everything clear here. When I found that girl, I thought I couldn't let her get away with our precious cargo. Nicht mehr tätige Beute. It's like a ripped off. I think it has to do with that thing. Like, Espella was holding that tag, And she says the leg got ripped off. But how did that then get ripped off? I think... But there's no... Also, I think if we had to settle on one statement that we want to tear apart, it would have... It needs to be this one, because like... this is her statement that she cannot attack the enemy. In this case is Bella. And if we can, like, tear down that statement, we have decisive proof that she's the culprit. But... I don't know how we can disprove that, to be honest. I don't remember much about it, but I got the toy back at least. I mean, we could, like, say, oh, wow, you say you don't remember much about it, but you tell so much, but I don't think that's going to lead anywhere, especially since we need evidence, and we don't have any evidence that's like... Good. How was I the entire one end? I really want to try the torn tag with that. If that doesn't work, I'd love to use a hint coin, but... What is it? Okay, what I think is like... Now that we have the newspaper as evidence, I think they're just jewel thieves and try to smuggle them with the toys, but... What are the details there? Okay, wait a second. The toy has its tag on still. So this tag is from a different toy, which wasn't directly involved into the fight. How can we disprove that one? I was holding the toy in one end. Something I could say is like, if Isabella really tried to steal the one, she wouldn't have held it at the on the leg. Like, she would have held it on the head or something like that, and she would just have the leg in her hand. But that's also not sufficient, I'm sure. I mean, we had 3 lifelines, but I really don't want to risk losing another one. I want to try the tag one. I need to try it. I just can't. That statement contradicts it. Yeah, okay. No. No contradiction. It needs to be this. Please. For real now? What is it then? I'm missing something, but I don't know what it is. So that's it, huh? Well, Nick, this one's easy. Why? They say it's easy, but I have no idea. I feel so stupid. Okay, I'm so sorry. Here's my hint coin. This one? I wrestled this toy back from the thief and then gave it to the police. Oh my god. Oh no. It can't be the medical... It can't be the medical report again. Like... No. What is it? What am I missing? She wrestled the toy back and gave it to the police. Why would she give it to the police? The ties better. Trying to find with Olivia. Details. Please. Talk to me. Why can I inspect you? I just... What is it? What is it that I'm missing? I wrestled this toy. Back from the police. See if I can reach the police. So... Oh, fuck. Sorry for my language. I can't even entertain you in these, like, intense minutes. I just... And you may think I'm stupid, and I really am right now. What is it that I'm missing? I need to use this evidence. Like, I need to use the stolen toy. There's no reason that the game would add it into the inventory without me presenting it. But how does it contradict the story? It doesn't. It just doesn't. Give it to the police. Yeah, it doesn't contradict. It. Listen, I need to look up what laceration means. Laceration meaning a deep cut. Yeah. She says she doesn't remember, so come on. I need to. Oh God. Different. Tell me why. Please. Miss Al Dente, I would like to confirm just one thing. The stuffed animal you submitted to the police. Is it this one? You are kidding me. Yeah, that's the one. No doubt about it. Because she was holding the tag of another plush in her... I'm sorry, but if that's the case, things simply don't add up. Just what is it this time? What's the problem with this toy? The defense must have some basis behind these claims. The court would like to see some evidence. Of course. The defense shall now present to the court the evidence that illustrates a contradiction within this toy. That the evidence is this. Is that the tag that was hanging from PC Badger's neck? I was thinking about that, but I just... No way. Everything is contradicted. It's just not contradicted, but convoluted. It's I had to this tag. This is the evidence received earlier from Mrs. Smiles. When I seized the girl at the crime scene, she was clasping this in her hand. She didn't even seem to notice. And what would that be? It would appear to be PC Badger's tag, Your Honor. Strange, isn't it? Something was definitely ripped off this plushie. But it wasn't its leg, it was a tag. Huh? You noticed it too, didn't you, Miss Al Dente? If this is the stuffed animal that Miss Cantabella was holding when you found her, then why is the tag still on it? Oh my God, last lifeline, what's that? Order, I will have order. Hey, you tasteless looking prosecutor over there. Yes? What's this about the tag? You didn't tell me anything about that. If you please come down. So he was behind everything. It's no use blaming the prosecutor. He didn't even know this tag existed. Witness, I had not been informed of such evidence. If you had this in your possession, why didn't you hand it in to the police? Sorry, Mr. Prosecutor, I'm an expert at what I do. And my expert advice to myself was that I'd better keep this as my secret weapon. So I waited for the right moment to single-handedly settle this trial. For better or for worse, this tag's existence has only recently come to light. Neither the prosecution nor you, Your Honor, knew about it before this trial. But then, why is there a tag on this toy? How come this toy has a tag? The answer is simple. There is a tag on this stuffed animal because the toy was swapped. There is only one possibility. Mrs. Al Dente, before handing the plushie into the police, you swapped it for another. Listen to yourself, why would I even do something like that? Ridicolo. And that's right, the tag must be a fake. A fake? Why would you think that? That chocolate freak must be trying to frame me, that's what it is. Mrs. Miles has no motive to do something like that. No motive? It doesn't require much thinking to come up with one. He wanted attention. Yes, what he said. The card lied to show off. That's all there is to it. Did Johnny produce bogus evidence to draw attention to himself? It's impossible. It's an interesting theory, but it's impossible. And how do you know? You are dicey like an onion. Anyway, was Mr. Smiles lying? There's an easy way to find out. What? How do you plan to check it? By checking the fingerprints, of course. Fingerprints? According to Mr. Smiles' testimony, when he seized Miss Cantabella, she was holding the tag in her hand. Therefore, her fingerprints should still be on the tag. Right, and why would she have touched it if it wasn't for it to be true? Bailiff, have this evidence investigated immediately. That was awesome, Nick. We've almost got her now. Mr. Flinch, I have a question for you. What is it? When you searched the crime scene, did you find a toy without a tag? Well, Mr. Flinch, did you? No, considering the circumstances, it did not seem necessary to investigate quite so thoroughly. But at the very least, I can tell you that all the toys in the crate had tags on. Excuse me, Your Honor? What is it, Mr. Wright? It appears no stuffed animal was found without a tag. Which means that it may still be hidden at the crime scene. Your Honor, the defense requests that the ship be searched, thoroughly this time. Send a forensics team there immediately. You're requesting another search? What? Surely you can't be serious. Whether the toy was swapped or not, it doesn't matter in the least. They're all the same. Any of them will do just fine. That's exactly why it's important. All these plushies are the same. There's no need to swap one for another. And yet... why is the witness getting so worked up about it? That's just... I had a feeling that there was something odd about this case. A stolen stuffed animal and an assault connected to it. There had to be more to it. There had to be another crime under the surface. Nick. This is it. What should I do? Request for a search. Of course. Your Honor, the defense insists on a search. Should a plushie without a tag be found on the ship? Then there's a strong possibility that this case will be resolved. She just broke down right now. Can't you just stop with the fuck...
You can't! No, you can't search it again! You just can't!
Oh, witness? Miss Al Dente, why did you swap the stuffed animal? And why are you so afraid of having the ship searched? PC Badger holds all the answers. I say, Mr. Wright, could it be that you already know the reason behind the swap? Of course, I don't have any definite proof, but when it comes to pointing out a possibility, I might have something, Very well then, let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence that would explain why Miss Al Dente is against the search? You can't be serious. There's a certain article in this newspaper, elusive jewel thieves at large in London, Scotland Yard on red alert. Oh, the robbery. I've heard about it, of course. A group of thieves robbed a jewellery shop and made away with about 50 pieces of jewellery. Many extremely valuable stones were stolen as well. Scotland Yard's under great pressure to find them. All packages sent out from London are being scrutinized by the police. And what does this have to do with our case? Nothing. I beg to differ. These jewel theft took place in London. And that's where a freighter picked up its cargo. London? It can't be. Witness? Completely stressed out. That night, you discovered the defendant in a cargo hold. She was holding one of the plushies. You knew you had to get it back. You had to get it back at all costs. But why go so far for a mere plushie? There is only one possible reason. You couldn't afford to have the police discover what was inside of it. What is this animation? Oh my god. We have just received a report from the team investigating the crime scene. This toy was hidden between a storage unit and a pipe. The toy has been cut open and the contents examined. And this was found inside. Pink diamond, worth approximately 100,000 pounds. I predicted it. I was wrong the whole time, but was right at the end. I've lost the battle but won the war. With just one lifeline to spare. We have also received a report from the lab. The defendant's fingerprints have been found on the tag. Do you have anything else to say, Miss Al Dente? I lost, didn't I? So you are a... Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of the jewel thieves. My role was to get the loot out of London. The police never checked the regular shipments from the workshop. We decided to take advantage of that blind spot. Indeed, the regular direct delivery service has been overlooked by the police. Possibly because that workshop produces the very mascots representing the police. The other crew had nothing to do with it. I used the ship. That's all. It was you who hid the jewels inside the plushies. There was one jewel in each toy. I was carrying them away one by one. The defendant happened to pick one of those toys up. I had my heart stand still when I saw the girl in the cargo hold. Whenever I was free, I stood guard in front of the room, and yet she got in somehow. So there she was in the room with the hidden loot, one of the toys in her hand. So how did Isabella get in there? I don't know if she was trying to steal the toy or what, but I just had to get it back from her, no matter the cost. Then I ended in a different toy. I made it look like it was ripped in a fight. It would have been over me if the police had found any of the jewels. But wait, who was it in the end? Who hit Olivia? Oh, I almost forgot about that.
First, I thought it must have been that little girl that hit me. But now I don't know.
You don't know?
No one else was supposed to be in that room. But what if there was someone in the shadows? Some mischievous person hidden in the darkness.
Don't tell me, Smiles. This was a most unusual case. It cannot be said that all mysteries have been resolved, but it has become clear that Miss Cantabella is innocent. Take that, Flinch, please. Well then, Mr. Wright, yes, Your Honor. It would seem that I owe you thanks for helping us see the truth. No need to thank me, Your Honor. I was just doing my job, like I always do. Is that really the smartest thing you could come up with? And Mr. Flinch. Yes, Your Honor. This trial was part of the Legal League of Attorneys exchange program, wasn't it? May this trial serve as a lesson for you too, is that understood? right into his balls.
Don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look! Without my glasses, I can't see, and I don't want to be seen. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?
Top tier synchronization. I mean voice acting. Well then, the court has reached its verdict. I pronounce the defendant Bella Cantabella not guilty. Thank God. Why is there confetti? Okay. Congratulations, you did it, Nick. Yeah, thanks. I guess I should be happy. But Darklock's cold gaze is staring daggers through me. Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're better than I thought. Had I known earlier, I would have asked you to prove Isbella's innocent from the very start. I'm glad you're happy about the verdict. Isbella, come and thank Mr. Wright. Just as dead as before. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Glad I could help. Hey, Isbella. What's that big book you've got there? Oh, please forgive her. She's a bit shy, you see. She's very fond of books. At any rate, now Isbella can return to her peaceful life at our boarding school. And it's all thanks to your hard work, Mr. Wright. I have a theory. I'm going to hold it for myself for now. Now please excuse us, we have some formalities to attend to. Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Wright, you were truly outstanding in that courtroom today. Farewell. This took all my energy. Phew, it's finally over. You know, something's still bothering me about this case. The person who hit Olivia, where did they go? That's true. We don't know who actually assaulted Olivia. If it wasn't Isbella, there must have been another person at the crime scene. But neither Olivia nor Johnny saw anyone else. The room was dark, save for the emergency light. I'm sure someone hid in the shadows. And Johnny was wearing sunglasses. I'm amazed he saw anything at all. He missed all those clues, so it's not much of a stretch to imagine he missed the perpetrator too. How about we head back now? Okay, let's go check out Tower Bridge while we still have some daylight left. Wait, Tower Bridge?
What is it, Maya?
There, on the couch. Isn't that Isbella's book? It is the book she was holding. We should return it to her.
That's how the wires get crossed, apparently.
Hey, Nick. Let's see what kind of stuff Isbella likes to read.
Just quit it, Maya.
Labyrinthia, huh?
What?
Huh?
Huh? Maya, look!
Huh? Hey, Nick, look. That's us, isn't it?
So many questions. And no answers to be found for now. To be continued. Oh, we get picarettes for them. Oh no, I could have had so much more, but whatever. So, thank you very much for staying with me. I don't know if this is part 3, 4 or even 5. Maybe I'll split up this part 2, because there was just so much happening. I really hope I'll find an editor software soon, someone that my PC can bother to run. Until then, I don't know if I will be playing. I'll give notice, but yeah, it doesn't even matter that I say it into the camera. Like, by the time it comes out, it's resolved either way. So Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment on what I can improve, because I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe I don't know if I've already said it, but if you like the video, like the video. Share it with friends. I'm bad at this YouTube stuff. I just wish you a good night. Okay, see ya.